Hi, welcome to Football and High Heels Presents. I'm Sammy, and before we begin, I want to give a great big congratulations to my sister and her new husband Sal, who got married this past weekend. It was an absolutely beautiful wedding, beautiful reception, and they're so happy, and I couldn't be happier. I'm just so excited all around, especially right before Christmas. I could seriously say my Christmas came early just watching those two get married. But we also have to discuss football today. And once again, Matt's here to join me. Welcome back.
Hello, hello.
Yeah, it's been quite an exciting week in football. Gosh, like so many things going on. I mean, right before we got on, I found out the Pro Bowl has been announced. Have you been following that?
I have. I was actually just looking right now to see who didn't make it more than who made it.
Yeah, I saw only four of the Giants made it, including Odell Beckham, which is no big surprise to anybody, but it's crazy. What do you think of the list so far?
Well, on pure popularity, Odell's going to make it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they already said he made it, so I'm not surprised at all there.
Quite honestly, his numbers are really historic, no matter what you think about him. So he should be a shoe-in. I don't know. I've got to look at the rest of the list. I do see that Snacks Harrison, their defensive tackle, did not make it. That is a huge disappointment and huge snub as far as a Giants fan, as far as I'm concerned. Probably the best guy who they signed in the offseason.
Yeah, I wonder why they did that. I mean, I was pretty shocked about that myself.
Fat guys win football.
That is true. That's great, a blunt way to put it, but you're right. When you're right, you're right. It's still very disappointing, though.
In high school, they called the skinny guys the glory seekers. Okay, and everybody else were the fat guys. Okay, fat guys win football. That's my go-to saying. You want
Oh
to
no.
win in the trenches.
Yeah, but what did you think of the Giants game on Sunday? Like I said, I was trying to follow my phone because I was driving back from the wedding, but it seemed like it was quite an interesting game.
Okay, so I didn't miss a snap, so I could totally fill you in.
Okay, let's hear it.
It was actually a really good game. Two teams who have had good seasons. They came in with the same record, in fact. Detroit, very skilled team. Matt Stafford, their quarterback, I have never liked, but I have to give him a lot of credit to have an injury to his throwing hand. He threw the ball wonderfully, probably better than Eli, which probably isn't a shock. Eli is like the ugliest successful quarterback ever. Um, but the Giants' defense are monsters. Their offense has sputtered all year, but their defense is a championship defense. They could do some damage in the playoffs as long as they just can get enough done on offense. But they do have to start scoring some points.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, I was just following on my phone, but it seemed like it was quite a good game. I was really disappointed I missed it. And speaking of the playoffs, you see we're getting closer and closer. What do you think of how the teams are doing? Who do you think is going to make it?
Well, let me just stay straight out. The NFC, Giants and Cowboys are both making it, period. They actually just came out with the statistic yesterday that whoever wins their division will be the number one seed in the NFC, period. So it just goes to show how well both of those teams have played. The chances are it's the Cowboys. I mean, they are 2 games ahead in standings. That said, if they end up tied, the Giants are taking it because they beat them both times. They just came out also saying that the Cowboys are like taking it easy this week. They want to make sure they don't have any injuries. So hey, maybe they get themselves another L and make it very interesting for the last week of the season.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know how I feel about them supposedly taking it easy. I mean, in a way, I understand because they don't want injuries. But in another way, I think they're getting a little too full of themselves because they're like, oh, we got this, we got this. But whenever that happens, a lot of times they end up losing. So not necessarily the Cowboys, but a lot of times when people do that, they end up losing and it ends up biting them in the rear end. So I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work for them.
Absolutely. Listen, sports, you keep your pedal to the metal, right? You
Exactly.
ball out at all times. Anytime a team takes it easy, they screw themselves in the long run.
Yep, and not in a good way. So hopefully they won't really do that and they'll actually take it seriously. But we'll see what happens. I'm still rooting for the Giants, obviously, the New York girl in me. And hopefully the Steelers make it for their division, but I don't know. They are tied with the Ravens and they're playing against each other actually on Christmas Day. So I think whichever one of them wins is got it. So we'll see what happens with that.
This is very interesting. I'm looking at the list for the Pro Bowl.
Yes.
It's punter. It doesn't really. Don't even get me started. But he's from the Rams. I'm not saying that he's done a poor job. To be honest with you, I have no idea what kind of job he's actually done. But he's from the Rams. Like, I really hate that. These are like glorified all-star games. Why do we need baseball? Does that? You have to have a representative from every team. Why? If you guys suck, you suck. I'm sorry. We don't need to have the best of the worst. It's a little silly. I think it's Johnny Hecker could be a heck of a punter. I don't know, but he's from the Rams. What are we doing, people?
For real, why? Just why? That's what I was saying too when I was reading it before you came. I'm like, why? Why do we have this? It just makes absolutely no sense to me.
Otherwise, these teams are stacked, as they should be. Very, very great representatives. And you know what? Nice to see Dak Prescott made it. He absolutely positively deserves to. And Zeke Elliott, both have played great for the Cowboys, so I give it up to them. Despite being a Cowboys hater, I give it up to whoever performs. And Landon Collins from the Giants made it, having a fantastic season. Probably the best season I've ever seen out of safety on the Giants. Great season. Who else made it for them? Dwayne Harris for special teams. He's a returner. That's kind of an interesting one. He has definitely been good. He does a lot of things that people don't notice, more than just return. In fact, in this game, there was one play that was fantastic, and he did not return the ball. Ball was coming to him. He stepped away. The other team set up to catch the ball. He knocked the guy right out of the way, and the ball went into the end zone to get on the 25 instead of like the 4-yard line. Stupid things like that make and break teams. Janoris Jenkins also made it from their team, has played very good at cornerback. I know this is not a Giants Central show, but today it is.
I have no problem with that. Like I said, I'm a fan as well. So, and you're my guest. So say all you want about the Giants. I won't stop you.
Yeah, no, this is. I'd say both teams are really, really stacked. But again, like it should be, it's basically an all-star team. That's all the Pro Bowl really is. It should have the best of the best. So, you know.
Yeah, I always find it very interesting. I've never really followed the Pro Bowl before, but I always found it very interesting because, like you said, it's like an all-star game, and it looks like it's going to be fun because it doesn't count for anything, and basically they just get out there and play. So that really doesn't count for anything, but I think it's a great way to see how they play against each other rather than on their own team. So I'm curious to see it this year. I'm actually quite excited about it.
Yeah, it's interesting the different forms of them they've had. I don't know. Now they're starting to talk about going to like skill competitions and stuff like that, which isn't a bad idea. A lot of people don't watch Pro Bowl. When I was a kid, I thought it was really awesome. Got to see like all these different guys. Players have used it as an excuse because they traditionally hold it in Hawaii and they can take their families to Hawaii and have a good vacation. And they play really lackadaisical and 1 million points are scored. I wish they would take it more seriously, but at the same time, the last thing I would want to see is like Landon Collins break something in this meaningless game. So I guess I'm kind of happy that they take it easy.
Yeah, that's true. So I'm excited. And is it still in Hawaii this year, or is it being done somewhere else?
You know what? I think that they have returned to Hawaii. I don't know that, to be honest with you. Traditionally they did, and then they moved it, I want to say 2 years ago, and it was like colossal flop.
Yeah, I remember hearing they moved it, but I can't remember where they moved it offhand. But hey, I would rather be in Hawaii if I were one of them. It sounds like a great time, a great vacation, and they get to play football, so it's a win-win all around.
The only funny, I think it is very funny though. Like we are talking about millionaires, so like these guys are like, oh my god, we get to go to Hawaii. Like for real, you have this long off season. You can afford to go to Hawaii probably the entire off season if you really wanted to. So let's not play, like poverty that you're finally getting to go to Hawaii. Good Lord.
I guess because I think someone else is paying for it. I'm assuming someone else is paying for it. So I guess it's different than when you have to pay for it yourself. But still, you're right. I mean, they can afford to go to Hawaii whenever they want. I wish I could afford to go. I know I obviously can't on my salary, but maybe they should take me with them and report on it. I don't think they really need a Pro Bowl reporter, but hey, I could represent my website.
You know what? I think that you should. I think that would be fantastic.
Yeah,
I think your bosses would support that as well.
I think they would. I mean, a free trip to Hawaii for me. I get to represent my website, and I'll buy everybody a postcard and pineapple. I mean, everybody wins. So if anyone's listening, I would love to cover the Pro Bowl in Hawaii. Please send me. Let's start a GoFundMe, start something so we can go. I would be all for that. And you and Brian can be my assistants.
I will have no problem with that. It is at Honolulu, Hawaii.
Oh, okay. I'm cool with that. Any part of Hawaii is A-okay with me because it's on my bucket list to go.
Absolutely beautiful. The ocean is gorgeous. I've been there. It's amazing.
Nice. I'm so jealous.
Extremely expensive, but awesome.
All right, we're gonna try and make this happen. If not this year, then next year. We're all going. All of Football and High Heels presents. We're all going.
Excellent. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, getting back to football a little bit. The Jaguars fired their coach. I mean, I'm not surprised in the least, but 2 weeks before the season ends, technically the season ends before we get to the playoffs, I was absolutely like, really? 2 weeks before? What do you think about it?
Okay, so that's really crazy because I literally just got notification, which I had heard earlier today, but I literally just got notification on my phone that Doug Marrone named the interim head coach of the Jaguars. So
Yeah.
there you go. So basically, their coach was the defensive coordinator for the Seahawks. That's how he got the job. Real hot commodity coming on out of there because of their success. He has the worst record in the history of the NFL for that length of coaching. He did a horrendous job. Not that the Jaguars are really ever any good, but Clint Bortles is better than he's shown. They have a lot more skill there. I'm telling you guys right now, Jaguars, hire Tom Coughlin. He's ancient. I know he's coming from the Giants, and I'm sure that everyone's like, yeah, right, you just want a Giant. Another mention of the Giants. Not true. That man came from there in the first place. He's a disciplinarian. He knows how to get things started. He won't be there long term. He's ancient. I get it. But what you have right now is not working. Sometimes you just need somebody to lay law and order. He will get everybody doing everything. Everybody will be there early for meetings because if not, you're not on time. Okay? That's the type of man he is. He will get things going. He will not be there long term, but for a couple of years, perfect. Then move him into your front office. He'll have a huge legacy there with the Jaguars. I think that's a phenomenal idea. Much better than like keeping Marrone, who's not a bad coach, but you could hire Marrone as your head coach. What are you going to do? Look at Rex Ryan or someone like that? Call up Tom. Tom's working for the NFL now. Give him a ring. I'm telling you, he'll take the job without a doubt. That's the way to go.
Oh, I think so too. And I'm just shocked that he went before Rex Ryan went. But I guess the fact that the Bills beat out the Cleveland Browns, no surprise there. I think that kind of saved his ass for at least one more week.
Well, you know what's funny about that? It was like what we talked about earlier in the year. Like, where do you go if you fire him? Because his assistants, one of them is his brother. So you fire him, his brother's not taking over. His brother's leaving with him. So now you have nobody on your coaching staff. You got your offensive coordinator who's done a fabulous job with their offense. So where are they going to go? I would assume that he's going to finish the year with them, and he'll probably upset the Jets in the last week of the season, and he'll be fired and leave with a smile on his face.
Yeah, probably. That's what I think is going to happen too, because there's no way they're making anything else after the season is over. They're gone. He's gone. And who do you think should replace him? Because obviously you want Tom Coughlin on with the Jaguars. Who do you want to take over on the Bills?
Jeez, I don't know. I mean, I hope Tom Coughlin shows up with the Jaguars. The Bills, I really don't know. That's another one of those franchises that just need to get a good, solid guy. Now, their defense, as was before Rex, is playing very well. They have some skill players. I don't know. Just get a good coach. Just get a good one.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough call to see who they can even get at this point. But yeah, like I said, you said we always say their defense is awesome. So they're going to really need a good coach if they want to step it up and actually get somewhere. Because I had high hopes for Rex, and I'm disappointed. I'm really disappointed in the way he's been coaching, and at this point I have no idea where they can go from here. It's really disappointing and really sad actually, because like I said, I really wanted him to do well, but. Sorry, Rex.
Well, you know what? It's just like the Jets. It really doesn't matter. They're in the division with the Patriots. So they could not hire a coach. You need not hire a coach from now until when Belichick retires. And you'll be in the same boat as you would be if you hired Vince Lombardi. It's not going to matter. The Patriots are going to win your division. It's just happening. Okay? Sorry, Miami, Jets, Bills. Sorry, you're completely irrelevant until Bill retires and Brady is gone. It's just the truth.
And I don't see either one of those two leaving anytime soon.
No, I mean, you know what? Brady is getting up there in age, and Lord knows people are already whispering about how they have his heir apparent on their roster. That's so blasphemous. It's ridiculous. Tom's in great shape. He just is in great shape. He could play for a number of more years. How people are talking about how he has a couple of more elite years. You have no clue. No clue. The medical stats are so much better. These guys have so much better food plans and workout plans. And that man doesn't get crushed. That team is best at drafting offensive linemen. And they do it in a sneaky way because he always trades out of the first round. He collects extra second and third and fourth round picks, and that's where he gets all of his fat guys. And they all come in, and they all block well. It's ridiculous. He understands. It's all about the fat guys.
Oh, absolutely. So, yeah, you're right. Either one of them are going. He may be up there. I think he's 37, and he may be up there in age, but he's not going anywhere, and neither is Bill. They're both there for quite a long time. I think I would be absolutely shocked if I woke up one morning anytime soon and I found out either one of them were leaving.
Yeah, Bill should be able to be the coach there until he doesn't want to be.
That's what I'm thinking too. I don't
much like earn that. He has that power there at this point. I mean, it's not me to say. Obviously, it's Mr. Kraft's place to go and say that. But I mean, in my opinion, he has built up enough that when he wants to go is when he'll go. That he should never be fired from there.
No, absolutely not. He would have to do something epically bad for him to get fired, and I definitely don't see that happening. They have to lose every single game, like the Browns, for that to ever happen, and that's not happening. Speaking of, how is the Browns coach still even there if they have not won one game at this point? How is he still even there and still coaching?
Actually, I gotta tell you, I wouldn't fire him either. They just hired him in the offseason. He's known around circles as a great offensive mind. You're talking about an absolutely futile team. The whole franchise. They have not been good since Jim Brown was around. I would never expect them to turn around. I don't think that he was ever thinking, I'm not going to win a game. And certainly he's got a couple more chances. But, I don't think that he ever thought that his season was going to go like this. But, these things take time. There's no quick fix. You have to draft well for a couple of years. Hopefully, they are smart enough to say that he is a good coach. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to stick with you. You look at the teams that have been most successful over the last 20 years, they are the teams that don't change their coaches very often. They just don't. I mean, Giants head coaches, go through the list. There's not many. Steelers, there's not many. These teams are successful for a reason. The teams that switch coaches all the time, right now the Jets are talking about, oh man, maybe Todd Bowles is just not the coach. He might not be the coach, but changing coaches every 2 or 3 years, if you were successful, you wouldn't be changing your coach.
Exactly.
Sometimes you just have to have like stick-to-itiveness and deal with it and say, you know what? Okay, I'm going to give this guy 6 years. Now that doesn't happen in professional sports, but teams would be better off if they did that.
Yeah, it's true. Rome wasn't built in a day. I mean, I'm probably not being very fair, but I have to say, I'm very shocked that I haven't heard even a whispering of it. But you're right, probably because he was hired in the off season. It does make sense that they're not getting rid of him. And like I said, if you keep switching coaches, it's like that person that's constantly switching jobs. You kind of wonder what's going on back there where they're not doing anything, where they keep switching around. So we'll see what happens. I'm still willing to give him a chance and see what he does next season. So I hope he's able to pull out a better season next season and at least get a couple of wins in. But like I said, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, they're finishing the season against the Chargers next week, and then the Steelers week 17. They have a really good chance of not winning a game this season, which is also historic.
Yeah, that
Well,
hasn't happened before, has it?
yeah, you know what? I'm not sure how many times it has happened. I know it's not many, if any. Um, the Chargers are probably their best chance of winning. That being said, any given Sunday, it's the saying, they can certainly win any game. It also depends on what teams are resting whom. Now, the Steelers could probably rest their three best players and still beat the Browns. They're just outclass them. But, I mean, we've seen the Jets beat the Patriots.
Yeah, that was shocking. I was like, they're like,
things
what?
things happen. So hopefully they'll get a win. Good Lord. Professional athletes going on with no win. That's just terrible.
Yeah, just one. Just one. I just so they won't feel bad. I mean, just one. I actually really feel bad for them. I mean, they sucked this season, and I just feel bad because no wins. It just makes you feel bad. And it's like, I feel like they're embarrassed for them. I mean, they probably don't want to tell anyone what team they play for. Obviously, people know if they follow sports, but it's like, yeah, I'm an NFL player, but I'm not telling you what team I play for because we lost. I mean, it's got to be really hard for them. I mean, but they do have a couple of decent players, but a couple of decent players doesn't make for a good team that could win.
The good thing is that they do have young players on their team. So that bodes well for, trying to build upon things. RG3 has not been horrible there playing quarterback, but that's one of those positions that really got to get somebody in there. They have a great tackle, Joe Thomas.
Yes,
I'd
I was just going
love
to
for
say.
him to be on the Giants. The Giants have flirted with trading for him so many times. That would be fantastic. And if they pull that off in the offseason, I will go ecstatic. But that just goes to show that, like, even the poor teams do have some really talented guys. It's really about increasing the amount. And, again, having a solid voice in your locker room, like keeping the coach around and having the guys buy into it, that makes a difference. Because these guys are all professional athletes. They're all phenomenal athletes. The most ridiculously unathletic looking person that you see in any professional sport is a million times more athletic than you. And that's a message to anybody watching the show. It's absolutely true. These guys are like top 1% in any sport. That's ridiculous athleticism. I mean, that's like the biggest scrub in the NBA would look like Michael Jordan if he showed up to your local gym. Okay? He just would. And it's the same thing in the NFL. So these guys who we look at that were like, this guy is the most terrible player of all time. He's the biggest bust of a draft pick. Yeah, that guy's very talented. He's just not as talented as the other supremely talented athletes.
That's true. That's true. I wouldn't want to be in the gym next to one of them. I'm insecure in the gym enough already. I don't need any of them next to me. I'd be like, okay, I'm just gonna go over there and hide because I don't want to go against you in anything.
Yeah, you would look extra small next to them.
Yeah, I'm 4'10" and 105 pounds. Now that everyone knows my height and weight on my show, but yeah, I would look like a little midget or a little what'd you call those little munchkins from Wizard of Oz next to them. That would be hilarious, actually.
You're officially getting hate mail from small people.
I am a small person. I can say it. I mean, are we ever politically correct on the show anyway? I mean, I don't remember
No,
one
not
time
at
when we were
all.
ever PC.
I think we're actually really good for like 90%, and then that 10% we explode usually
Oh,
goes.
Yeah, usually when Brian's here, and we miss you, by the way, Brian.
Yes, we do. Where are you, Brian?
Yeah, he's been working super hard. I mean, he has a lot going on. I'm really proud of him for all he's doing. He's doing a lot of great work in Pittsburgh for the River's Edge, so I'm really excited for him. But he promised he would come back once he gets some rest, so I'm really excited that when he comes back, hopefully next week. So we'll see what
Absolutely. I
happens.
do see his posts all the time. They're talking politics. They're talking all sorts of stuff. Exciting.
Yeah. It really is, and we're really happy, even though we miss him like mad. But I do want to go back to the Giants one more time. What's with the cheating scandal that I keep hearing about? Was it with the game against the Steelers? I was trying to do
Okay,
it.
so the coach used walkie-talkies. Basically, that's all it is. They're totally guilty. They're
Yes.
totally guilty. Okay. I make no excuses for my teams. Uh, Ben McAdoo absolutely used a walkie-talkie. Apparently, what the story is that their headsets, because they can communicate to the quarterback through the helmet, um, it went out during the fourth quarter. So that the way that they communicated with the other coaches and whatnot were using walkie-talkies. Again, illegal according to the rules. Whether or not you think that's okay or not is up to debate. Personally, I think it's fairly stupid that if their glorified walkie-talkie goes out, they can't use an actual walkie-talkie. But those are the rules. So they're absolutely guilty. So they were fined. It was like 150,000 to one and 50,000 to another. So I think it was a $200,000 penalty total. Most people in the NFL think that was very light because there's been suspensions and whatnot handed out for other indiscretions. That being said, the Giants rarely get in trouble for anything. So Patriots fans who are like pointing at this and saying, "Ha, these are the guys who were just talking about another team on Deflategate 2." Yeah, well, the reason why you got in trouble so much and why Tom Brady missed the first four games isn't because of Deflategate. Let's be real. It's because of the countless other indiscretions that you were allowed to get away with under Roger Goodell, and he was made to look stupid. Okay? So on this last one, he was like, gotcha. And he came down on you. And because the CBA says he can go and make his decision and back it up, he was able to say whatever he wanted. So in this, did they get off light? You could totally argue that. That being said, I don't think any team should get more than a fine for something like this, especially in the case that their headsets that they normally use went down. It wasn't like this was an additional thing used or whatnot. This was used in place of. Now, again, that being said, they broke the rules, so they will have a fine. And if the NFL had deemed it just to go and take draft picks or whatever they decided to do, or suspend the coach or whatever they decided to do, it would have been just because the rules are the rules and they broke them.
Exactly. But what I know is I was reading up on it and I was looking at the pictures. The walkie-talkie was very obviously there. Why be so obvious about it if you're going to be breaking the rules? That's what I didn't understand.
You know what? That McAdoo's new head coach, he might not even known that it was breaking the rules, to be honest with you. And two, I don't think you care. You're trying to win the game, so be damned. You're going to communicate with them because that's what you have to do. I know that Eli had said that a couple times he had to run to the sideline to find out what the plays were and whatnot, which is fine. That's like high school. Again, I don't really think it's that big of an issue. It's definitely not that big of an issue as compared to some of the other things that happened in the NFL this week. I don't know if you heard about security guard that was
No,
working in the
let's
San
talk
Diego
about
game.
this.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is scandalous. So a security guard, you can find the video online, do a quick search. He's a young white guy, skinny guy wearing a red jacket. He's a security guard at the San Diego game. He's standing pretty much directly in front of the cheerleaders, and his hand was in his pants, and he was doing exactly what is going on in your mind right now. Yes, exactly that. In the stadium, while he was supposed to be securing the field,
Well, he was certainly securing something.
he was securing something else altogether, and there is extensive video of it. Also, that's not it. So also during the Redskins game, one of the assistant coaches of the Redskins had to use the bathroom, but he also had a job to do. So instead of jogging into the locker room, he went over towards the Gatorade stand and took a Gatorade cup and peed into the Gatorade cup on the sidelines. This is 2016. We're almost in 2017. People, there are cameras everywhere.
Wow.
You're going to get caught. It's a little mind-blowing. So, yes, people are freaking out in the media about walkie-talkie gate or whatever they want to call this thing. Meanwhile, we have someone securing his area and somebody relieving his area. So, yes.
I would be more worried about that than someone using a walkie-talkie where they weren't supposed to. I mean,
we're talking walkie-talkies versus ding-dongs, okay?
Exactly. Ding-dong gate.
That's it.
2.0.
Ding-dong
Yeah. Times 2,
yeah.
Obviously.
Two
those
in
poor
one
cheerleaders.
Week. Very,
Exactly.
very crazy.
And those poor cheerleaders that had to basically bear witness to this security guard dude.
I don't know that they knew anything was going on, but Lord knows they very well could have. I'm sure in today's day and age there will be lawsuits breaking out and whatnot. But yeah, that's beyond football. Okay.
Oh yeah, that's special to put it lightly. Yeah. I honestly have no response other than Ding Dong Gate times 2 this week.
I think we need to that is our hashtag. Anyone? Hashtag Ding Dong Gate. Okay? You heard it first here.
Yes, we broke Ding Dong Gate.
So it's an interesting transition to next week's games. Oh, good Lord.
Wow. But yeah, and let's go a little bit about Leonard Fournette, who is obviously a football player for a college game, and he's skipping out on the bowl game. And what is your feelings on that?
Okay.
We can discuss a little.
LSU, big star, will probably be a very successful NFL player. I hate that he's skipping out on this game. Now, most of the experts are saying it's not a big deal. Good for him. He doesn't owe anything to his team or his teammates, and he's a business. His body is a business. He needs to prepare himself and try to get the best, and blah 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 blah. Totally get it. From a certain perspective, that's absolutely true. There could be millions of dollars at stake depending on how high he could get his ranking in out of the players coming on out and where he could land in the draft. That being said, there's something really dirty about the decision. Doesn't feel right. You're playing a team sport and you're running out on your team.
Yeah, I kind of don't like that either, and it just makes him look bad. It makes him look, I don't want to say babyish, but it doesn't sit right with me either. So I'm curious as to why, and if it's going to really play into his chances of actually getting drafted. Because if he runs out his team now, what's to say he's not going to do it if he gets drafted?
Well, it's certainly something that today's NFL teams will bring into account, without a doubt. They're going to definitely talk to him about that very often, I'm sure, at the Combine, where I'm sure he will be a popular interview. To me, it's more of like a morality issue or a values issue, I guess. Doesn't really matter. No, not really. They're not playing for a national championship. I don't know. I think it's a little ridiculous. You're on team sports. Stick with your team. What's one more game?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying too. I mean, and again, like I said, if you're going to run out on your team now, what's to say you're not going to do it at another time because you don't feel like doing it or it's not right for you? Just stick with your team, play the game, and just suck it up. That's basically all I got to say on that.
There are some teams that will just straight up take you off their board because of stuff like that. Especially if they feel like if they see this as a pattern. If it's not a pattern, it's no big deal. People are just going to say, you know what, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. He was just trying to go get himself ready for his career. He didn't want to get himself hurt. God forbid you get hurt in a bowl game right before you're coming out into the draft. Totally understand that. You have a short amount of time to make money in the NFL. Get it. Like we said, it just doesn't seem right. And if these guys, and they investigate, a lot of the investigators and whatnot that work for NFL teams are like ex-cops and CIA and FBI and everything else. They literally will find out everything about you. You know what? If somebody digs up that he like quit his high school team or something like that, they're going to say, look, it's a pattern. This guy's a quitter. He's great. He's got a lot of skills, but he's a quitter. Now, that could hurt him. It might not at all. We could be laughing at this come draft time. He could go number 3 in the draft, and we'll say, you know what? Look, he made the right decision. That being said, I wouldn't want to hear that out of my player.
No, I wouldn't either. Definitely not.
It's a very me thing to do.
Definitely agree on that. And we are almost out of time. I know we both got to be up early tomorrow, and we both have actual jobs outside of Football and High Heels Presents. Craig Sager died this past week. I believe it was on Thursday. He was an amazing sportscaster, lost his battle with cancer. Very sad. What are your thoughts on this amazing man?
I've watched as many videos on it as I possibly could. Love his ugly jackets. He's probably the only man besides Clyde Frazier who would wear these hideous things, and it was awesome. It didn't matter. It became such a thing that people look forward to. Some of the clips over the years are just great of some of the players messing with him, telling him to burn his suits or throw this one out, or I don't know. It's hard to even speak on subjects like this. Craig Sager will be missed. He's been around forever. He's been a guy in my sports life my entire life. He's one of those guys, especially during the NBA doing the sideline reporting, that you look forward to seeing and hearing from. His son filled in for him last year for a bit, Junior, when he was out sick. And, leukemia sucks. Cancer sucks. Was so happy to see him make it back onto the sidelines. And despite the fact that he lost his battle with cancer, I'm glad to see that he made it back and got the love he deserved and was happy. And he went out a champion. He will be very, very missed by sports lovers across the world, no matter what sport it is. I know Cubs fans. He's a big Cubs fan. Cubs fans are probably in mourning, as they should be. Greg Popovich was his nemesis on the sidelines, even though they very much liked each other. He was very, very upset. I saw his interview. I'm sure Charles Barkley is beside himself, and everybody who worked with him. It's tough. It's tough. We've seen a lot of big sportscasters mainly going down to cancer in the last couple of years. Cancer affects a huge percentage of it. It's like something like 1 in 3. So whoever is watching probably knows somebody who has dealt with it at one time or another. It sucks. Love your loved ones.
It's sad. It's just so sad. And my condolences to his family and his loved ones during this time. I can't even imagine I've lost people to cancer, but I can't imagine what they're feeling right now, because losing someone like that it's never a good thing. And it's just so sad, because it's so depressing, and cancer does suck. And I can't even put it into words, because cancer sucks, and F cancer, because it takes away such good people. And it's just so incredibly heartbreaking what his family is going through right now.
Yeah, and apparently he and his wife just had an anniversary. I think it was 14-year anniversary that they just made it to. So, hey, love to anybody who was close to him, and for all fans, So I know Sager Strong is the big hashtag. Stay
Yes,
that way.
he will be.
Raise money to fight all these illnesses because you know what, it will affect everybody in their lifetime.
Absolutely, and he will be missed. And he always reminded me of that fun uncle you always looked forward to seeing at reunions or weddings and whatnot, just because of his, like you said, his loud jackets and his personality. He just always reminded me of that fun uncle you always look forward to seeing. And he's definitely going to be missed in the sports world. And again, once again, my condolences to his loved ones during this time.
Yeah, I mean, I know if somebody wants something inspirational, watch go watch his speech when he won the Jimmy V Award recently. Go look that up at the what do they call it, the ESPYS.
ESPYs, yes.
Right? Go ahead and look that up. Go on YouTube, listen to that. You'll be inspired.
He was an inspiration and will never be forgotten. It's rest in peace, man. Rest in peace. Well, I hate to end the show on such a sad note, but we are out of time. Once again, thank you for being on the show, and I look forward to having you up on again next week.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And enjoy your Christmas, you and Devin and Landon. Do you guys have any plans?
We're staying home. We stay home on Christmas. No traveling. We'll stay very local.
Yep, us too. Us too. Nothing planned really. I might go see Star Wars finally, but we'll
That's
see what
what I'm
happens.
talking
Depends
about.
on.
Yes, group trip to Rogue One and Hawaii. This is what I'm talking
Woo!
about.
All right, I'm all for that. Maybe we could see Rogue One in Hawaii. That way we kill two birds with one stone.
Maybe Rogue 2 by then, but yes, I'm with you.
Yes, yes. And I think little Landon will enjoy it as well. And he can tell me all about his Shopkins and Lala Loopsy on the plane ride too.
He would be very happy to do so.
Maybe I could have him on next week after Christmas and we could talk about what Santa brought him and we could talk about Lala Loopsy and Shopkins and all that fun stuff.
He would love to do that.
Yes, I can't wait. And thank you again for being on. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a Merry Christmas, a Happy Hanukkah, a Happy Festivus, and enjoy. See you next time. Bye.